So let's talk about flanges, and let's talk about Flange Fit. What is a flange? Some companies call them breast shields, some companies call them flanges, but the part of your pump that attaches to your breast is your flange. Every Rumble Tough pump comes with the standard 25 millimeter flange and the 23 millimeter insert. However, we have the largest selection of flanges of any pump company. We have everything from a 13 millimeter to a 40 millimeter flange. What you're gonna do when you open your box, you're gonna receive your Flange Fit ruler. This is very simple to use. So one thing you need to know, what is the difference between a nipple and an areola? So your breast, you have your full breast, and in the middle of your breast, or a little bit lower, whichever, you're gonna have your areola, and that's the darker circle or oval that's on your breast. And in the center of that, the part that becomes erect is your nipple. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna measure just your nipple with this, not your areola. You're going to take your Flange Fit ruler and put it over your nipple. Your nipple needs to fit snugly into one of the circles. And don't be surprised, lots of women have two different size nipples. So you're gonna fit it securely. If you have a little extra room, that's too big. That's way too big. So fit it snugly around your nipple, all the way to the base where your nipple touches your areola. And that's gonna be the diameter of your nipple. Now, please note that all nipples are not completely circular. So you wanna make sure that the circle fits the widest part of your nipple. Then you're gonna add between 1 and 3 millimeters to your nipple size. For example, if your nipple measures a 16 millimeter, we would suggest that you try a 17 millimeter flange and a 19 millimeter flange. The one you're gonna use is the one that gives you the most milk and the one that you find to be most comfortable. Size matters. Your nipple size matters. Why do you need a proper size flange? Because using a flange that is too small can be very painful, and a pain response can reduce the amount of milk that sprays during a pumping session, and so that will reduce the amount of milk that you get per pumping session. If your flange is too large, then you can have part of your milk duct go down into the tunnel. This kind of pinches it off and doesn't allow a full spray while you are pumping, and that can reduce the amount of milk that you pump as well. Both too small and too large can be uncomfortable or painful. You don't want to have any discomfort while you're pumping. Another great tip is when you're pumping, you should be using the highest level of suction that you can use without having any pain. Nothing about pumping and nothing about breastfeeding should be painful. So I would encourage you to slowly turn your pump suction level up until it hurts just a little bit, and then back it off. And that would be the suction level you want to use. If you're new to pumping, you want to do this in the beginning and maybe a day or so later after you've been pumping, because after you've pumped for a while, sometimes you can pump at a little bit higher setting. This does not mean that that works for everyone. So think of yourself as an experiment. Take the time that you need to date your pump. You need to take the time to learn what suction level you need, how long you should be on stimulation, how long you should go back to expression, and back and forth. And this is going to allow you to get the most milk that you can in the most timely manner in each pumping session.